Yada da boy. Yuck Mouth TV. Subscribe to your guy. Another episode of High Learning. You feel me? Straight up with the kid Yuck Mouth and Nelson L. My partner Grind about to tap in a minute. You know what I mean? Till he tap in, we about to get everybody in the chat. You know what I mean? Get the tap in going. See where everybody tapping in from. Let the notifications go out. You know, we about to spit some shit, man. You know what I mean? Give me that High Learning, man. You know what I mean? The stuff that people are afraid to talk about. You know what I mean? That's what we talk about, man. You know? Yeah, that stuff that's forbidden to talk about in public. You know what I mean? We gonna give y'all them perspectives and we gonna talk about it together. You know what I mean? It's definitely end times, you know what I mean? If you don't realize or look around you, if you ain't never read a Bible, please, if you do, read the book of Revelations and look at what's going down today. You know what I mean? And you'll say, okay, prophecies are being fulfilled in front of our face. Things that we never imagined is happening in front of our face. And we so fucking desensitized to shit that we not even paying attention. Like if any other era, it'd be a fucking miracle if this shit was happening. We so desensitized, like, ah shit, birds falling out the sky. Whoop-de-doo. Like, when the fuck has that happened? Oh, all these fucking fish and whales and sea creatures just washing ashore, just dead. Like hundreds of thousands of fucking fish and shit just dead on the shore. It's like, what? It's just another day at the beach. But if this would have happened in any other time, it would be a historical, you know what I mean, event. It's a prophecy, man. Period. Straight up. So we're about to go deep. Nigga said Rabbi Yuck, all the above, mate. You know what I mean? Sharif. Sharif is in the motherfucking building, man. You know what I mean? Say my name right. Sharif is in the building, man. High learning, man. That's how we getting down. That's how we giving it up, man. You know what I mean? Shaniqua in the building. Let's do the tap in, see where all my brothers and sisters tapping in from. Toledo and this motherfucker. I see you paid in full. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Slauson and Crenshaw. I see you, LG. They said, come on, yuck. Sick committee in the building already, my nigga. You know what I mean? Cincinnati on the tap in. I see you. Shaniqua Town Business. That's sis, man. Hold me down. Sis, if anything get out of pocket, man, clip niggas, man. You ain't got to block them, but put these niggas on timeout, man, because we ain't got no time for no disrespectful ass niggas up in the chat, man. You feel me? We come to give nothing but love and game. You know what I mean? A good energy, man. We ain't here on the trolling shit. You at a troll, man, take your ass to Clubhouse, take your ass to another nigga channel, period. Shaniqua, E. Millie, I need y'all to regulate that shit. Soon as somebody going stupid, put their ass on timeout, nigga. Time it out, nigga. You know what I mean? Go sit your ass in the corner, sit down, nigga. Time it out, bro. You know what I mean? And think about the stupid shit you just said, bro. Period. We ain't fucking with it like that, bro. Positive, good vibes over here, man. We just trying to give good knowledge. You know what I mean? Exchange game and help each other. Each one teach one. You feel me? New Mexico on the tap in, nigga. I see your boy Fresno. What it do? I see your boy Infamous Sickness. I see your boy. Tacoma on the tap in. Oh yeah, Compton in the house without a doubt, man. All right, nigga. Mm-hmm. UK, the UK stay in the building, man. Some of my UK Birmingham niggas, man. What it do though? You feel me? Stay tapping in, man. Rest in peace to the Jacker, man. Y'all know how deep we go back there, man. Period. They love the Jacker, nigga. And the regime out there, nigga. Salute the UK, Birmingham especially. They fuck with niggas the long way, Jose. You feel me? It's an old school camp house. Okay, my nigga. Oh shit. Okay, my nigga went to camp with me, nigga. What did it say? MOG? Mag 510? Yeah, nigga. Say your real name. Not your government, but yeah, put your nickname up there, nigga. So Warriors. Say that again, Shaniqua. Warriors in the motherfucking house, man. Houston in the house. I see your World Kings. Let me get my partner Grind in the building, Nelson, so we can start this dialogue. Nelson L, what it do, playboy?
What's good with it, fam bam?
Fucking with it, man. Had to get suited and booted, man. I'm like, this nigga be really booted up. I can't come in this motherfucker with the hoodie on no more, man. You know, I can do that too, man. That's how I learned it, man. High intelligence, man. It's a grown conversation, man. So we should be dressed like adults. You know what I mean?
Facts with it. That's facts with it. We're gonna get into it tonight, man. I can't wait. Cause it's gonna be great. I want to talk about Well, we want to talk about something I think that is a permeant. Well, let me kind of back up. Let me slow down. I think something that's being talked about in a lot of different areas in the conscious community and everywhere in the hood and the culture. That's what I'm looking for. The conversation that's currently being had in the culture. Are we living in the last days? And so I want to kind of talk about, I want you and I to discuss it. I want the audience to join in. And I want to talk about the end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. Um, no matter what doctrine you've subscribed to, there's generally some information about the fulfilling of the prophecies or the last days. And so, yeah, I want to get into that tonight, man. So we can break that down. But first and foremost, before we get into that, let's do it like we're supposed to do it. Do it right, giving praise to the Most High. You know, I always say give praise to the Father, honors to the Son. So we want to shout that out. We want to thank you for having us, hosting the platform, so we can get the information out to the community. There's not a lot of outlets where we can have these type of conversations. There's a few brothers out there, Billy Carson. I don't know if you ever checked Billy out. Billy real dope. It's a couple other brothers out there that put this information out. I like that brother 19 Keys. It's another brother be doing a dietary kind of has a conversation how we eat right and things like that. So information like that's coming to the community. But the thing I think we want to talk about today, I like talking about conversations that affect each and every one of us, and that's what times, what are the times that we're living in? Not the time when you check your wristwatch, but the times. So yeah, we can get into that, man. So
Let me
appreciate you, man. I just want to
before
say
we
that. Thank
start,
you.
man. Let me shout out RPMJ, man, one of the big supporters and subscribers, man. He always hold us down like 4 flat tires whenever I go live, man. Shout out to RPMJ, man. Salute my nigga, straight up. But yeah, let's get into the dialogue, man, because at the end of the day, we seeing a lot of shit, right? You know, not to be all extra cursing and shit, man. My name Yuck Mouth, so it's gonna come out crazy. So anyway, no Frank Ocean, but with all this shit that we seeing in front of our eyes, like we seeing fucking birds just drop out the sky, hundreds of thousands of birds just dead in the field, like, you know what I mean? Thousands of fish just dead, washing up ashore, you know what I mean? Cattle and shit just dropping and dying, like, it's a lot of signs that we ain't never seen in life. And we so, I was telling the audience before you stepped in, that we so immune to shit that we're not realizing like what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? Like we seeing miracles and shit and prophecies happen in front of us. Like, ah, whatever. Like it ain't shit. We so desensitized. You know what I mean? But it's really happening. Shit that we never seen in our lifetime is happening right now. We taking it like it's a motherfucking. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Motherfucker. Oh my God, there's none of that going on. You know what I mean? But the
Right.
motherfucker that just recorded it, of course, the motherfucker that put it on camera, he's the only one amazed. Oh my God, look at all these thousands of fish is
Exactly.
dead. But the actual person that see it don't give a fuck. They're like, ah, another day at the park.
Exactly. It's like we've been so desensitized to everything, or we're so distracted now. We got so many different things going on. We worried about things that probably we really shouldn't be worried about. You know, they give us stuff to worry about. And so that way, when the chemtrails are flying over the top of us or certain things are happening, we're not even paying attention to it. But this is what I call signs and symbols. You alluded to it earlier in the conversation. You said the signs, right? So we always say signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. There's always things going on around us to give us indications to, you know, kind of what times and what season, and you know, all the different the information we need to know is all around us. However, if we're not paying attention to that, then we could miss it. um, yeah, we can get into that. Let's talk about some of the signs and symbols. So when you get into a lot of the Bible scripture, the Bible breaks down the end days like this. It says, no man knows the day or the hour. I'm paraphrasing, knows the time of the hour, but we'll be able to recognize that we're living in a certain time by the things that are taking place. So when I say signs and symbols, I mean, when have you in your lifetime growing up looked up in the sky and seen the sun and the moon at the same time. You know, I was driving down the street the other day. I'm driving. I'm the one driving, so I'm behind the wheel, and I look out the driver's window, and over there is the sun. You know, it's kind of getting ready to set, but the sun is still out. But then you look over. I look over out the passenger window, and there's the moon, full, big, bright. And I'm thinking, I don't remember seeing this growing up, but now I've seen that a couple of different times. So we have to pay attention to things like that. The celestial bodies are shifting right now. You know, there used to be a song that came out probably back when we were younger, and it was called "The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius." And so
That's what I was about to say. We are in the age of Aquarius, right?
we're in
It's
that
like awakening.
age, right?
Everybody's awakening, right?
Absolutely.
Spiritual awakening.
That's what Aquarius means. Aquarius means the pouring out of knowledge or pouring out of information, the age of enlightenment or the age of awakening. My mother used to always say, whatever was done in the dark will eventually come to the light. So this is that age of enlightenment. And it really is when you look at it. Here again, we have to see the signs and we have to look at the symbols. We have to look at what's going on around us. So when we talk about the age of enlightenment, this is a technological age, an age of technology. So look at all these cameras that are around, from George Floyd to whatever else is going on. You know, I'm out here in Las Vegas, so there's probably more cameras in Las Vegas than there is anywhere. But the reason why I bring the camera to your attention, because there's nothing that's going to be hidden anymore. There's nothing going to be done in the dark necessarily. You walk out of your house, they say on average there's 12 cameras that are on you at all times. There's a camera on the light, you know, the stoplight when you stop in traffic. There's a camera at the convenience store. There's a camera on the tag on the car in front of your car. There's a camera there. You get in an accident, somebody jump out, 10 people with cell phones pull out cameras. So there's nothing's going to be able to be done without it being put out there today. Then we might have been living in the dark ages before, but this is not the dark ages now. So even the things that were done in the past, we're going to start being able to. We're about to see those things being revealed, because the evidence of those things now are going to be made available to us, and we can Google things and we can look up things, and so this is just an age now to where we got to be on point. We got to pay attention to signs and symbols. So one of those signs and symbols, according to the biblical scripture, and somebody else can add on to these. I know that we know these things. Is seeing that sun and that moon at the same time. Another sign says we will see the going out of one generation and the coming in of another generation. I think on a show in the past, I talked about the baby boomers, how right after World War II, we're into World War III now. I apologize, it's not over yet. We working our way there though. But at the end of World War II, all the soldiers came home, and there was this big explosion of population, and that was probably about 75 years ago or so, approximately. And so now we're starting to see a big decline. So we're seeing the outgoing of one generation, but we're also seeing the income or the incoming of another generation. And you and I was talking off camera about this milk shortage, right? So the Bible talks about woe to the woman who's pregnant in the last days, or one woman with child in the last days, because it's going to get tougher. So now there's not enough milk to feed our babies. I read an article about there's a woman in Utah who's actually selling her breast milk, pumping breast milk, packaging it up like it's the product, and shipping it out and getting paid for it. So if that's not a sign of the times, I don't know what is. Women are having to sell breast milk, or not having to, they're selling breast milk in order to feed the babies. Go ahead, bro.
I said they ain't having to. They are. Shit, it's a shortage
Exactly.
on Similac. Food shortage is gonna come. I keep on when I read Revelations. You know what I mean. I don't know if the Morris. I don't know what book you guys study. I don't know if that has the Revelations in it or not. But just the Bible text of the Revelation, it speaks
That's right.
about Babylon will fall. Do you ever think that is America by what we going through? Like America being a powerful, like the most powerful since Rome and shit like that, like literally. So you think that the Bible's talking about us or somebody else?
I think that we're the only nation that the Bible could be talking about. It talks about a mystery Babylon, but it also gives a description of the type of behavior and activities that were going on in Babylon as to why Babylon was destroyed. And we're talking about the young people, we're talking about children that are growing up in these days. Let's talk about this Babylon. Um, I also read, I'll try to stay up on my current events as much as possible, but the Southern Baptist Church is under some scrutiny now for the same thing that the Catholic Church is under scrutiny for. And this is the pastors having inappropriate relationships with who? Who are they having inappropriate with? The children, with the young kids, molesting and have it and I I don't want to get out there like that, but just doing the children bad, bruh.
Allegedly.
Go ahead.
I said allegedly.
Right.
But
But this has been going on for a while now, right? It's not a
I mean,
secret that
especially we heard rumors about the Catholic Church. You know what I mean? We heard a lot of
absolutely
rumors about that going on back in the day, allegedly. So for I mean, just period, like the shit is disgusting. You know what I
right.
mean? Like the church is becoming like more demonic, I think. Like people is using the church to get off they, you know what I mean, they sins, you know what I mean, instead of, helping people, come there, get rebirth, get baptized, you know, and come praise God. It's more like people are using people. It's like some preachers use this shit like they're a pimp, my nigga. Like they got the gift of gab and they're using the Bible, you know what I mean, to make their money instead of using hoes and prostitutes. You know what I
Facts,
mean?
bro.
Yeah, so a lot of them give me that type of vibe. So I'm just a spiritual dude right now to where I mean, the body is the temple of the soul, and the soul is a connection to God. You don't need no book. It's always good to have knowledge of it, of course, but you don't need a book to be close to God. Just get on your knees or however you want to pray. Just pray, and you close to Him like that. So, me happening to get somebody that's just basically a translator, basically, a
Absolutely.
and this
Right.
guy is telling me that guy has a bank that I have to give ties to until I see a God Bank of the United States. Where's these ties going to? It's like
Right.
this the preacher, no, not to be looking at nobody pockets or nothing, but he's the only one that's like we making these funds for a new building, a new this, that, and the third. And the only thing that's getting new is the preacher cars and the preacher real estate and the preacher businesses and shit. And the church is still the same, nothing getting fixed. And it's like, what type of Ponzi scheme is this shit? You know what I mean? So that's just some, not all. But a lot that I went to, I've seen the preacher just ride off in a Rolls Royce into the sunset, straight up.
Absolutely. That's one of the signs, right? So one of the signs that we're living in the last days is you're going to see all these false prophets, false preachers, people claiming that they represent the word of God, people claiming to have the greatest of understandings, and you need to follow these certain individuals because they want to be the go-between you and God. And one thing that I can say about more science is we're taught that you don't need there's no middleman with you and God. You just go straight to God. And because we're talking about the end days and the fulfilling of the prophecies, my biological father always says is going to end the way it began, right? And so in the beginning, there wasn't it was just the relationship. When you really look at it, whether if you believe it to be allegory or whatnot, Adam or man had a direct relationship with God. They walked together, they talked together. There wasn't no he had to go to somebody else to get God on the phone and do a three-way conference call. There wasn't a book or anything. It was a direct conversation. And so that's how it's going to end. It's going to end with us being back directly connected with our higher power, with the creator of the entire universe. And that's our powers is knowing that we're connected to that. So we're getting back to that. We're getting back to our powers which is inside of our spirituality. But that again, that's just another sign that we're living in the last days. Another sign, and I know a lot of people say, well, all this stuff's always been going on. We've been always been at war. We always been, having these different social issues as regard in regard to being a nation. However, I don't think we've been at the place where we've pushed the envelope on everything before. With this technology, with everything that's going on, we living in a hyper-sexualized world. Everything is oversexed. I mean, and young girls is twerking, and the lines between gender have been blurred. You can be whatever you want to be, I guess, whatever you feel inside. I'm not knocking anybody for that. I'm just saying recognize the times that we're living in. This is the time where we can have a Caitlyn Jenner become woman of the year or something like that, or we can have an athlete who's on the swim team who used to be a man but now identifies as a woman, but is beating all the other girls swimming because she is bigger, faster, stronger. Well, she used to be he. So I'm saying this not to point the finger of derision at anybody. I'm saying look around, recognize what we're doing.
But look,
Go ahead, bro.
not to cut you off,
No,
just
you
so
good.
stay where you at right quick. What ended? What caused the Great Flood?
What caused the great flood?
Exactly.
According to
What ended
scripture,
after that? What ended wrong? What were they doing? What type of activities were they doing to make that flood happen?
right,
The land.
right. So is this a rhetorical question you really asking me, or are you getting ready to lay something out?
I know exactly
Right,
what
right.
they was
So
doing. So they was doing this shit like you're saying. Like the biological chemistry wasn't right. You know what I mean? It was the you know what I mean? The LGBTQ shit was going on. You know what I mean? It was man on man, woman on
right,
woman,
right,
all that shit. Biological shit with the goddamn Nephilim, mating with the regular humans and creating these beings and shit that wasn't full human. It wasn't the natural course of what God made. So when shit start going off course, it have to be destroyed and rebuilt. You know what I mean? And I feel
right,
kind of like that's what's going on right now. A lot of shit is going off course, and I feel like we in a great fucking reset. Like shit is about to reset,
right,
literally. You know what I mean? And
right,
it's gonna be Mother Nature, some shit like that. That's gonna reset this shit. It ain't gonna be man. It's gonna be some nature shit that's gonna
right,
wake niggas shit up, man. You feel me?
right. And
Just like it
that's
was back in
also
the
another
day.
sign. Nature, earthquakes in places where they didn't have earthquakes, and temperature changes and tornadoes and floods. And we're seeing a lot of category sixes or whatever. The tornadoes are getting stronger, they're strengthening. We're starting to see things take place or occur in nature that have never occurred before. I looked up one day, it's snowing in Las Vegas or something. That doesn't surprise you now because there's so many things that are taking place with Mother Nature, if you will. And then we talk about the war, we talk about Putin, you talk about Russia and Ukraine, and all of these things are taking place. We talk about diseases and pestilence. Right now, we're currently coming out of a pandemic, quarantine, all these different things are all taking place right now, currently. And, what I was saying before is, um, I believe just like you, this thing runs in cycles, right? And so after we get to a certain point, there's essentially a reset that takes place. And this is why you see things like the pyramids and the Sphinx, and you say, man, we don't know how to recreate that. We can't reverse engineer that. We can't figure out today how they made that then. And what happened is we got up to a certain level of technology or certain level of knowledge, and then there was a reset. And figured out how to, we haven't quite figured out as far as we was then how to get there again, so to speak. So I do think that when it comes to information and it comes to the way that we understand time and society and all this stuff, I just don't think this is our first go around. I think we've been here before, so to speak. So, we dealing with a. It's almost like we're trying to figure out the answer to the mathematical equation, and we've only been given part of the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta do some deducing and figure out some stuff on our own so we can figure out what that X, Y, and all of that means. But I really do feel like we here now, bruh. We here now. And so the next thing is this: when we talk about things that are going to come to pass, and you and I one time we were talking about food and food shortages and the farmers, and how there has been a conversation about there will come a time when there'll be armed guards in front of the grocery store. You're not going to be able to just walk into the store and buy a gallon of milk. It's going to be your day. You color code. Your day is Wednesday. Don't show up on Monday, or what have you. So you're going to need a 90-day supply of food. There's going to come a time when a $50 bill, or we'll say $100 bill, is floating down the street. The wind is blowing this $100 down the street, right? And you look down, and today you'll dive on the ground to pick up some. If a truck, a Brinks truck, the back door flew open and a bag of $100 bills fell out, people would scramble for that. Well, it's been said or prophesied that there'll be a time when $100 bill's floating down the street, you're not even gonna stop to pick it up. It's not gonna have any value. It's not going. Nobody's gonna care about no paper money. And so when I think about those conversations that I used to have with some of the brothers about, man, ain't no. So you telling me a $50 bill or $100 bill, the wind could blow it over the top of my shoes, and I'm not going to pick it up? It's going to be like loose trash. And they like, yeah. Well, when I look around now, I see cryptocurrency, I see Bitcoin, I see NFT, I see all these other things where people are investing their resources into, which basically says we're working our way to a cashless society. This, the money that we print and overprint and overprint and overprint is not going to have a value. It's going to lose its value, and we'll get to this digital currency that we're talking about. The money will be on your debit card or whatever. Come on, bro.
And it's losing its value right now. That's why shit's so high. That American dollar ain't worth shit. That's why gas hella high, food hella high. Because you're going to have to pay double the American money because the shit ain't worth shit. And it's only worth something out here. You go overseas, boy, they're going to look at that shit like, good luck, my nigga. Put that shit into the exchange, boy. You're going to get pennies back. You're going to be like,
Oh,
God
you
damn.
got it good over here. We got it
Yeah,
good over here, right?
you better
So
spend it over here,
we
too. Don't go nowhere else with it but Mexico. Sorry about
that's
that.
right. So it's gonna tear the whole world up. When we get it, we still gonna be asleep. We're not gonna recognize that it's a tank in front of the grocery store. But in other places, it's already gonna be going down like that. We're so distracted. I want to say, I don't know if I want to say high. I don't know if I want to say we drunk. And I
No,
don't
no,
just
we
off
not.
chemicals. Go
It's
ahead, bro.
what they give us on the media. See, CNN, no report was going down in Argentina to where they
Right.
whole banking system them failed to where, you know what I mean? The motherfuckers are riding all types of shit to where they can't even use that bank. They can't use their money. Their money ain't worth shit. You know what I mean? So shit is going down in other countries with the cashless society, and people can't even get access to their money no more. So there's a lot of shit going down in that. The media, the big media. You know what I mean? The
Absolutely.
Fox News, the CNN, they're not reporting that. They reporting all this shit about out here. That's gonna strike something. They're gonna report about the dude that goes to Buffalo and shoot up everybody. You know why? Because that's gonna encourage other people to do it. Other white guys who feel some type of way. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go do this too. It encourage it plants a seed. You know what I mean? Instead of showing some shit that's going down to where we need to tighten up, you know what I mean, and get our shit right. It's like, let's show the shit that's gonna keep the shit going on. Let's put motherfucking gasoline on the fire and keep it going. That's why
Absolutely.
when I told you about the race war that they trying to create with the social media and all the shit that they putting up and all the fucking what them this shit called, the Nancy's, what they called, the ones, the white chicks, the Nancy's and shit. They why Who cares if a white chick report on a black guy having a fucking barbecue? Why should that be on the news?
Right. Right.
They're promoting this separation to make us angry with each other. Oh, fuck the Nancy. Oh, fuck the black guy. And now you got us against each other instead of really recognizing what's going down in the government. Well, they sliding shit through. That's fucking us up every day. New bills, new laws, this, that, and the third that we cannot change. And they got us focused on each other instead of focus on the fucking goal, bro. But continue.
Absolutely, man. I gotta say I agree with that. I want you to check this out, Yuck. I want the audience to really understand this level of game that I'm about to share with you all. A lot of what we're dealing with is an act of European psychology. It is an act of European psychology. What do I mean by that? This is what I mean. One of the first hallmarks of any self-defeating behavior or the attitude of a self-defeating person or group of people is blaming others for how your life is turning out. The first hallmark of any self-defeating person is blaming other people for the way your life has turned out. Now, why do I say that? If I can blame the European, if I keep blaming the white boy for the way my life turned out, I will never change my conditions. Oh, it's his fault. That's why I'm living like this, or it's her fault. That's the reason why I can't get ahead. It's everybody else's fault but mine. Once we realize that we have the power internally to change our conditions with the changing of a thought, then the control is no longer. And I say that to say, when we realize that we when we take away the power for others, we take away that power from others to control our life, then we give ourselves that responsibility. Once we become responsible, then we dictate the narrative or the course that we're on. And so right now, they got it to where everybody, if we want to demonstrate in colors, because that seems to be the way we talk today, they got the black blaming the white, they got the white blaming the black, they got the brown blaming the yellow, they got the yellow mad at the, bam. And so as long as this continues to go, nobody moves. But as soon as we say, okay, guess what, I am God, right? I am God, not God of the whole universe where I can do that, but I am that pinpoint piece of God in a microcosm sort of the creator, right? Everything that's like, if you take a cup and you dip it in the ocean and you pour that cup out the ocean, this cup of water has every element, every mineral, all the ingredients, the level of salt. It has everything that the ocean has in it. Of course, it can't cause a tsunami, but it is part of that because you can pour it right back into that ocean. And so it becomes part of that. Once we realize that is our connection to the universe, then we stop blaming others for our conditions, and then we're able to change our conditions. But right now they got us living in this vacuum kind of thing where we blame everybody, and then one nation blames another nation. They take it all the way up to the top, and everything is a choice to where you can do it that way. That's why you have the Democrats and the Republicans. Just get on one side and blame the other side. And then you do not move. You become stagnant. And so I feel like, this is also a sign that we're getting towards the end of days. Now, let me say this too, real quick, why it just dropped in my spirit. The last days, the end of time. Doesn't that sound so scary and dramatic? But it's really not, because guess what? If you follow scripture, the scripture says the meek shall inherit the earth, right? So that means the humble, the meek. That's who the earth is going to be left to. So the planet is not going to be destroyed, not just yet, right? However, what this is in reference to is the ending of a certain way of life, a certain way of thinking, a certain mentality. If you used to getting up, going to work every day and driving through traffic and, going through a certain process every day, it's the end of that process. That's over with. The new process is you work from home. You don't go to work now. 2019 is over. It'll never be the same again, or what have you. And so this is a new era of time, which basically means that old world is coming to an end. It's the end of a time. It's the end of an age, or an end of the world, if you will. And there's all kind of worlds when you really get to looking into the Bible, and we talk about for God so loved the world. There's many worlds that we're talking about that all interact and take place simultaneously. So we also know through scripture that a new heaven and a new earth will be created. Well, this only comes because there's going to be a new way of thinking and a new way of processing information. So when we talk about the end of time, the fulfilling of the prophecies, we talk about the end of days. I don't want us to be so discouraged that we think, well, it's just over. Now it's just the beginning of something new. The end of one thing is the start of another thing. But go ahead, bro.
No, you said it perfectly, man. You said it's not the end of the world, but it's the end of an age. And
There
we
you
all
go.
got the prime example because we all lived through it. Just think how it was from 2019 to how it is right now. It's
There
totally
you go.
fucking different. The shit that we was doing in 2019, we ain't doing that shit no more right now today. Barely. Like little templates of what we used to do fully in 2019 and before. So that alone, we watched it. The world is shifting in front of our face. These are prophecies that we said. This shit is shifting, not just like somebody saying the area Aquarius is bringing in a new time, a new age where it's going to be enlightenment, it's going to be change. No, we're watching this fucking change happen in front of our face. We're living through this. People are dying from this plague, this COVID disease. People are being fired and losing jobs and businesses, small businesses and corporations. Like all type of corporations are just dropping this shit too. You know what I mean? So we are witnessing this shit. We are witnessing this shit hands on in real time. This ain't just in the Bible, the whatever book. This is happening in front of our fucking face. You know what I mean? And people need to stop being so desensitized and recognize, like, yo, I don't know if I ever believed in a higher spiritual, being, but it's time to get right. Because right now it's crazy. You know what I mean? Period. And Lord forbid the war come to America. Because them Russians ain't playing. That goddamn Putin don't give a fuck. And I think when America flee from Afghanistan and left all our equipment out there, it just showed that we was weak. Russia seen that shit, was like, okay, that's up, man. We taking everything we want. We dare y'all to do something. You know what I mean? So Lord forbid they come over here and start playing them games. You know what I mean? Which they can't because America has the biggest motherfucking army in the fucking world. So good luck with that one. But what if they try?
Right.
Is that gonna
Well,
bring us together as
let,
Americans?
let me give you a couple of things. Since you said that, you sparked some new thoughts. So this is how that's going to happen according to Nelson Hill. So this ain't nothing that I read or anything, but this is how I believe that it's going to take place when you talk about it coming over here. And then I want to say something about these rappers getting indicted. So don't let me forget to go back and
Yeah,
add
yeah,
that
yeah.
to part of the end of time when we talked about the signs and symbols, because also there's going to be an attempt to control information, and an attempt to control influence. And that's really what artists are. They're influencers. So anyway, this is how I think it's going to go down with us over here. Because America is the greatest nation on the planet currently, um, and we are geographically set in a way to where we're just, it's almost impossible to attack us, right? Because we got Canada on top, we got Mexico below. We're kind of centrally located in the continent to, like, where you gonna land. And then, like you said, we got all this military, we got all the alliances, we got all this stuff going on to where it'd be very hard. How America is going to fall down is going to be also scripturally based. um, Jesus said a house divided could not stand. So what will happen is there'll be a law passed or something will take place. And I'll just give you a narrative, like, not saying it's going to be this way, but there'll be something that will divide the country. So let's say guns, for example. say the government says we're going to take all the guns, and it's too much mass killing, too much shooting going on. We taking all the assault rifles, we taking all the big guns, anything that you can do a little bit of damage, we're gonna take it. Well, you're gonna have an uprising of people that's gonna say you're not gonna take my gun, right? And so it'll cause a rift in such a way. I say mostly with Europeans, right? Because they'll be the first ones to tell you all the felons got guns, whatever. All those people ain't supposed to have them, they got them. So you got some people that got them, but they're not tripping on that. But the ones who got them and like to have these stockpiles and these arsenals and these big weapon storehouses and things like that, you got a lot of our second amendment people uh, that really push that, and I don't got no problem with it. But they're just not gonna let you take their gun from them. That's just not gonna happen, right? So it's gonna cause a rift in such a way to where you're gonna have almost like a civil war, if you will. And once that's created, then you will have a Russia or a North Korea because we'll be weakened. We won't be able to. We'll be imploding, so to speak. There'll be so much self fighting. They'll be hiding up in the Tennessee hills with guns and shooting at the government. The government's going back and forth with the people, and the people are rebelling, and then you'll start to see a lot of um, the different nations who we may not have the best relationships with will start to come together, join forces to attack us. It's almost like the bully. Like America's kind of been a bully for a little while, and we've been pushing around other little kids on the block. Well, what happens when you see the bully weakened? Everybody want to go get a punch on, get a lick. Everybody want to get a kick or a punch or something. He's down, get him, get him. And that's going to be with us. It's going to come from internal. It'll be an internal thing, and then you'll see nations from outside take advantage of that. And then that's when you hear in scripture talks about the beast with, this many horns and that many horns, and those horns represent other nations. But it will happen from the inside out. That's how it's going to take place. At least that's how I see it coming down.
Nah, you said it right. They're gonna catch us weak. You know what I mean? Us feuding with each other. You know what I mean? That's why you got outsiders allegedly funding these, you know
Right.
what I mean, groups. You know what I mean? These fucking racial groups and shit. They're being funded, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
By billionaires, allegedly. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you could see like when all the protests was happening, you know what I mean? And just a fucking stack of bricks that just magically pop up on the corner, and everybody's
Right.
throwing where these bricks just come from, and just right there on this, no construction going on,
Right.
but a fucking pile, a whole mountain of fucking bricks perfectly stacked up,
Right.
just right there on the corner for
Just
us.
waiting to get thrown through a plate glass window.
Right here, grab your brick and throw it. Like no Molotovs, just perfectly placed Molotovs ready to be
Right.
lit, just right there on the concrete. Grab one and light it. Like where is this
Right.
shit coming from? You know what I mean? So a lot of this shit is planned. A lot of this shit is sponsored. A lot of this shit is like you said, division, and it's a distraction. You know what I mean? Period. Because with the division, we're not gonna have power. Like just that one little raid, just that one insurrection that they had at the White House. I mean at Capitol Hill. That one insurrection, that was just a small, not even the 1% of the Americans. Imagine if everybody was on that together and try to go. They would have to go underground, bro. So
Right.
they gotta keep us separated. Gotta keep, oh, here's the right, here's the left, he's a leftist, he's a rightist, this, that, and the third. Keep us in pocket. Because if you really, wake up and say, yo, y'all fucking us over. It ain't the left, it ain't the right, it ain't this race, that race. It's the motherfuckers that make the rules at the top.
Right. Right.
Pass down the laws that implement this shit. It's y'all, not us. So why are we looking at this man sideways instead of, I don't preach that, but what they did, that insurrection, hey, that's motherfuckers getting fed up with the bullshit.
That's
Period.
what
And they
it
don't
is.
want that shit to go down again. I'm telling you.
Right. What if I told you racism did not exist? What if I told you these religious denominations did not exist? What if I told you Democrat and Republican did not exist? These are imaginary lines of division that separate us and keep us, going back and forth with one another, thus making sure, or thus ensuring that certain groups of people stay in power, and ensuring that other people don't become empowered. And so it felt like, from looking at life from a certain perspective as a young person, oh, this is real, this is real. That stuff's not real, man. That stuff is put in place to get you caught up. And if we're not careful, you're going to end up hating somebody that you don't need to be hating. You're going to be fighting with somebody that you don't need to be fighting with. You're going to be mad at somebody you don't need to be mad at, because you're caught up under the illusion that these things are real, right? It's almost like a child who is not ready to. The reason why they have rated R movies, let me give it to you like this, right? It's because you got to be of a certain maturity level to realize this stuff is not real that you getting ready to watch on the screen. It's going to be a lot of shooting, a lot of car chases, a lot of people jumping off the roof and surviving, and all this stuff that's not real. But what happens with us is we can't discern or put that line between truth and falsehood, or fact and fiction, or what's real and what's not real. And so you shouldn't even, it's almost like we're children, but we're growing, we're waking up. Partially reason why we are called minorities has nothing to do with numbers. I always thought that if you had a majority and you had a minority, the majority was a larger number, but it doesn't have anything to do with numbers. We're called minorities based on the word minor, right? You have a major, which goes with majority, and you have a minor. A minor can't do anything without the accompaniment of an adult, right? That means somebody else has to make the decisions for the minor. Someone else has to co-sign for the minor. Someone else has to give the okay. So they have been the majority, and we have been the minority. And how that and it dawned on me one day, it has to be that way, because numerically, we talked about this, melanated people make up approximately 90% of the people on the planet. Less melanated people make up about 10% of the people. So how can 10% of the people be the majority and 90% be the minority? Well, it doesn't have to do with numbers. It has to do with putting one group of people in charge or over another group of people. And this is how you create the division as well. We create caste systems. We create different levels to the game, so to speak. And so now when I say look at the signs and symbols, how do we know we're living in these last days? Because all this, the levels are being exposed. If you and I are talking about it, like I said before, some other people are talking about it. And once it gets down to this level, once it gets to us, we the soil, bro. We the streets. We the people. We really are the church, if you will. The church is not that body, that building, with four walls and a ceiling. Is talking about the people. Now, I know in certain places, there'll be Moors will say that we're supposed to we're returning the church and Christianity back to the European, because it was developed for their earthly salvation. So a lot of the stuff that we were taught at one point in time was not for us, for with our best intention at heart. I guess with our best intentions at heart. It was to confuse us or to keep us in the dark. And so now we're out of that. We got to remember, we come from a time where if it were found out that one of our ancestors knew how to read or write, that could mean instant death. And not a long time ago, America's only 200 and some years old. 200, and I don't want to misstate the number, so just a little bit over 200 and some odd years old, 250 years old or something. So not too long ago, if they knew that you were able to read or write, you could be put to death. This is how badly the powers that be did not want you to get a hold of certain information. Let me see that. The 12 tribes is the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, there's scriptures out there. There's people that will give you the conversation that the book is about us. That's who the book is about. Everybody in the book is us. Looks like you, looks like me, melanated, and the story is our story. The 400 years in bondage, the coming out of Egypt, which Egypt represents bondage. You know, the story that we call the transatlantic slave trade, how to create a slave. I probably went over that before, the book of Daniel on the program. But you know, just so many things. When we look at it, we say, wow, man, a lot, some of this could be a coincidence, but not all of it. So it's no accident that we're coming into knowledge of self. This information now is readily available, and as I say, um, I kind of lovingly always say, as a kind of being funny or whatever, but ignorance is a choice, man. If you want to be ignorant and you choose to be ignorant, then that's, you can do that. But all the information is out here. I'm not saying that Google or Bing or any of these search engines are 100% factual, but I am saying they are a point of reference to where you can start to do some research. You can Google something and then start researching from there. So, you know, a lot of the information now is right there. You just got to do your homework, man. And I don't want you to take my word for it or anybody else's. I want you to investigate for yourself and start looking around and seeing the signs and the symbols, paying attention to what's going on around you, being conscious, or what conscious really means is just being aware of the times that we living in, man. And know that that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't want to do this hell, fire, and brimstone. I want us to be aware that we're living in a time now where that shift is here, bro. And that brings us up to our modern day conversation, which is these rappers with the Rico. And you and I talked about it the other day. It's being able, what's going on now, this money, we're talking about control, right? So we talked about the church, we talked about other things, right? I really think religion and the church, if we take it back hundreds and hundreds of years, was instituted as a way to control people, right? We get people believing one thing, we get people um, recognizing these certain customs and traditions, and we control the people. Well, now, if you look at the statistics, the membership, people going to church, people who believe in the doctrination of most churches are dwindling rapidly. It could be because of the priest that we talked about with, you know, being accused of child molestation or different things going on, but the church is losing membership fast, right? And so the powers that be that are behind the veil, there's like this curtain where we can't see who's on the other side of the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz, right? So the powers that be that are on the other side of the curtain say, we gotta come up with another way to control the people, because religion is not working. First it was war. We're just gonna fight. You don't want to do what we say, we're gonna cut your head off. That's point blank, or hang you up on a cross or whatever. We came from this war period. Then we went into this religious period. Well, now who controls the people? You do, yuck. You, what you say. If you rap about a certain car, we all gonna go get that car. You got on a certain watch, you wearing a certain fashion designer, uh, we control the world. Kanye says, I like this type of clothes, I'm putting these Yeezys out. They go buy those Yeezys. We are the new control, the music, the culture, the industry. This is like church for some people, if you will. This is the gospel. This is tabernacle. This is assalamu alaikum. This is whatever you um, identify with spiritually. That's what this rap thing is, man. That's what this this hip hop culture, and it goes all over the world. Hip hop music or rap music, whatever you want to call it, is the number one genre of music all over the entire planet. People listen to rap music in third world countries who don't have cars, who don't have shoes and stuff, shoes and socks. They listen to rap music. I got a call from a guy in Tokyo, Japan, who was asking me about artists that I knew that were popular in the 90s. And I asked him, I said, man, why are you so interested in the 90s? He said, we call it the golden era of hip hop. We're over in Japan right now listening to the golden era of hip hop because nobody got shot, nobody got killed. The main premise of most of the music was party, have a good time, pick up a girl, dance, whatever, kid and play, house party, or, whatever we was doing back and then dancing and whatever it was. But this thing, the old music is relevant, the new music is relevant. We control the masses. So what do you have to do? You have to control the rapper. If people are being controlled by money, the Rothschild said, I don't care who, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't care who makes the laws in the country. Just let me control the money. Then I control the people. So it's no coincidence that now we're coming out of this era where we all went to church. Your grandma made you go to church. My grandma made me go to church. We're coming out of that era now because the church doesn't have as big of an influence on this younger generation. Now, it does still on grandma and it does still on grandpa and people that are, 40 and 50. But this young generation, they not thinking about no going to no Sunday school. They not thinking about no vacation Bible school. They not thinking about the Sunbeam Choir. They know Reverend Durong. They sell weed to the pastor. You know what I'm saying? They not tripping on what's going on, bruh. And so it's like, how do we control the young ones now? Well, we got to control the music. And if they're not listening, let's lock them up. Let's show them you can't get bigger than me. I can put you away and not give you a bond. I can lock you up for talking and conspiring and dealing with your friends. I can put charges on you that can stifle your career. I can control you. And now here we are. We're talking about the end days and the end of time. I'm going to wrap with this. We fight not against flesh and blood, but rather powers and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. What do I mean? Nelson Neal, what do you mean? I mean, we're in a spiritual warfare. Think about what rap is. If you spit a rap right now, I can't see it, touch it, taste it. It's in another plane. We can hear it, obviously, but we can't grasp it, right? So this is an invisible thing. This is a spiritual thing. When it talks about powers and principalities, principalities are governments. Principalities are those lawmakers you talked about who make these laws and create these circumstances that have these adverse, their desired conditions are made by them, but we don't see it like that. They make this law, which really pushes a button on the left and it causes a certain reaction on the right. We draw a line down the center of the city. We call it redlining. We won't let nobody live on this side that don't look like, a certain way or make a certain income or what have you. We got it all set up. These are the powers and principalities that we deal with. But it also says spiritual wickedness. Go ahead, bro.
No, not to cut you off, man. Speaking of spiritual wickedness, man, also spiritual goodness, man. The reason why they use music to control us because we all are indigenous and we from, you know what I mean? Like even
Right.
the Africans, you know what I mean? We used to pray with the drums.
Come
You
on.
know, that was our spiritual. We used to do spiritual dancing, you know what I mean? Spiritual drums, spiritual music. So when you do this rap music, it's the same thing. You're doing the dancing, you're doing the music, and it got a spiritual energy in it. That's why when people hear music, oh, I got hyphy because that song came on, it grabs
Right.
you. You do
That's right.
something that you normally didn't do. because it's spiritual. That spirit grabs your ass. You know what I mean? Oh, this song made me cry. It's spiritual because it
That's
grabs
right.
you, it hits you in the heart. So them knowing that this type of frequency is going out there, what they're gonna put out some positive frequency or they're gonna put out some negative frequency. So now they want to put out the frequency, the demonic frequency, to where they say they on demon time. Now we shooting this nigga, we smoking this dude, we pulled up, we slid on this motherfucker, he died and you didn't do nothing. And that is on the radio. Now that's being kids, little kids, junior
That's
high
right.
school, I mean, fucking elementary, everybody hearing this on the radio. Now, what do they want to do? The little ones, they want to go grab a gun. And like, it was just some video of some like 13 kids coming into the high school basketball game, all had big ass ladders on them. I'm talking about big boy choppers on them, raising their shirt up. All of them had, and it was a motherfucking high school basketball game. So this is influencing all the kids, not just black, all races, to go grab guns and go want to shoot instead of talking it out or being a man, fight, you know what I mean, box it out, shake hands, you know what I mean? None of that shit going down. You get in an argument, you might get shot. And that's
That's right.
because of the demonic spirituality that's in this demonic ass music that they putting on the radio waves. You know what I mean? They don't got the shit with the message. Luckily, we got a J. Cole and a Kendrick that can slide in the message a little bit. But they ain't gonna promote a whole J. Cole and Kendrick song was just talking about the message. They're gonna let that shit just play on the video. That ain't gonna play on the radio.
Right.
You know, at the strip club or at the hip hop, like none of that shit. So the energy of music, it came from spirituality anyway. That's why it controls us. That's why it controls the temperature of what's going down. Music, period. But back to what you were saying. I didn't want to cut you off, but
Nah,
the
bro. I mean,
music,
you hit
it,
the nail on the head when you talked about the music and the spiritual component of it. I mean, like I was talking about reading and writing. Also, back in the day, if you got caught with a drum, you might get killed because the slave master understood the power of the drum and what the drum meant. The drum could, just by hitting the drum, you don't even have to say no words, bro. I could be telling you, get ready for war, yeah. It's time for war. You hear this drum, boopity boopity. You hear that drum hit? I'm hitting this drum. I'm telling you, boy, put your war paint on. Get ready. I can tell you it's a birth of a baby. I can tell you it's going to be a party tonight, a celebration. I can tell you everybody meet under the full moon tonight at midnight. This is all from how I'm working this drum and you listening and picking it up. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, party tonight. Or it's war? What? Oh man, funk season. So they took the drum away from us because they knew what that power was doing. See, the fact of the matter is when you look at these comic strips and stuff, I know we get out here with these conversations and stuff, but I'm firmly one to believe, man, that for real, you're a superhero, bro. You got these superpowers in front of you, right? And the only thing that really can defeat you is you. And so what the your weakness is like that, like I talked about, this self-defeating behavior. I have to get you to doubt you. I got to get you to hate yourself. I have to get you to not have faith in yourself. I have to, that's the only way I can beat you because you're so powerful, right? Because once we start,
or or I gotta hang this money over your head instead
right,
of
or I
you
got to
being
get you
wise
to, yeah, I
and
got to get you
putting
to
up your own
debase
money.
yourself.
Yeah,
I
I
got to
gotta.
get you to step away from your power source and try to chase after this other thing. So now you weak now, and I can get you. But the thing about us, when you think about us, we're a superhero, right? Anything starts happening to us, man, why they on me, man? Why this gotta happen to me? Why I gotta go to court? Why do I have a flat tire? We get into that. But let's look at when we think about, we watch the Marvels or whatever, they showing us, we might see DC comics. You never hear Superman say, why is Bizarro here? No, Bizarro's here because you're here. You feel me? The Joker's only here because Batman is here. The bad guy only shows up because we're here. All we have to do is just be ourselves, and we gonna knock him down. But no superhero asks, why is the bad guy here? The bad guy's here to test your strength. He's here to see how much confidence you have in yourself, to see how convicted you are inside of your own mission here. And so we just have to realize there's a reason why we're here. There's going to always be some adversity or opposition to it. But once we step into the real knowledge of self, then we start changing all of this. Because like I said, we've got to realize that we're God. We're getting back to the beginning and the end now. Well, the other side, that demon side, that demon time, that devil also resides in you, right? When you really think about it, you think about all of the worst thoughts and all of the worst things, all that's going on inside of you. Man, I could do this to that person. I could. So the same energy, just depending on how you want to direct it. We got taught a long time ago, there's this physical place called heaven and hell. And the fact of the matter is, there's not a heaven on the other side of the moon or on the other side of a star or what have you. The Quran says that Allah did not make a heaven or a hell for man. We are creators and we create our own. We create our own heaven, or we can create our own hell based on our thoughts and how we carry ourselves. And a lot of us are choosing to create these hellish conditions because we don't realize we have the power to do better. You know how they say, if you knew better, you would do better. So we have the power to do better. We don't realize that because we haven't really walked into that God body yet, but we getting there. These things that are taking place, these signs and symbols, the milk shortage for the babies, what's going on at the church, wars and rumors of wars, just all the things that we talked about, the moon and the sun, and all of these things are symbols that are showing that sleeping giant is waking up. That's us. We're coming into knowledge of self and this consciousness, but it's got to be done in a war that can't be told in words. So we look on the news and we see all that stuff, but just know that things are also manifesting on the good side. And I like the fact that you always kept bringing us back to the positive side of things. You're not never going to get one without the other. If there's hot, there's cold. If there's up, there's down. If there's heaven, there's hell. If there's, if you got one, you got to have the other one. And
Right.
so all we got to do is understand that victory is assured. We read the scriptures, we looked at all the prophecies, and this is how it ends. It says the remnant of Satan. The remnant is that last little remaining bit of spittle in your water bottle. Like if you poured all the water out of your water bottle and then you turn it upside down, there's that little drop of water still on the rim. That's the remnant of the water that was in that bottle. It's just a little bit, right? So the scripture says the remnant of God is going to do battle with the remnant of Satan. So there's a few of us that still understand and hold on to the fact that there's this higher spiritual power that we can tap into. But for the most part, a lot of us, we just getting up and going to work every day, getting up, going through the motions, and we don't realize that. So there's just this little remnant, and these two forces are going to do battle. But according to the scripture, the good is going to win. The good will outweigh the bad, and we're going to have 10,000 years of reigning, so to speak. And I think that's just to give us an idea. Once we get over our own psychological roadblocks, we're dealing with a lot of post-traumatic stress syndrome as a people. We don't realize that our cells have cellular memories. You may not remember getting beat as a slave or running or whatever. However, our cells hold on to those things, just like it holds on to your DNA in regard to what complexion your skin will be, or how coarse the hair on your head is. You have cellular memory of these past traumas that we went through, and so we're coming out of all of that. So it took some time, but we getting through it, and it's just a good time to be alive. We're the greatest generation. I always say that the creator made, because we have all the tools from the prophets, but we also have all the technology. We have the ability to communicate, which we didn't have. Just like we're doing now. We in two different states, but we're able to have this communication, and this is being broadcast all over the world. And this is the conversation that they need to hear. This is what they want to hear, bro. They be telling me all the time, we like hearing that rap talk. We like hearing that other stuff, but we want to hear this too. We
Right.
want to have that conversation about racism, politics, the end of time, whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about aliens, the Anunnaki, Nephilim, Nibiru, whatever. We can talk about it. And as we do that, and those teaming thoughts gather, then we also discern and decipher and solve problems and grow, and we're able to step our game up. So with having said that, man, I just want to say, to the audience, man, start paying attention. Take a look around you, and you tell me what you think about it. Are we living in the end of time? Is this the last days? That's just a question for y'all.
I don't know. I mean, me, boy, it look crazy than a motherfucker, man. I never thought I'd see a black president. I never thought I'd see all these sea creatures flooding up on the water and birds and shit dying. I never thought I'd see um what my grandparents saw and what my great grandparents saw. I never thought, like, in my wildest dreams, like from like the 90s to now, I never thought I'd see so much racism. Like, this shit is crazy. And now I know what my grandma and my great grandfather went through, and some of my father and uncles and everybody went through. Like, I never felt that. You know what I mean? Never ever, until, the last presidency, where it was like on blast. You know what I mean? To where it was these riots and these, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? I've never seen this in my life. You know what I mean? Stuff I've never seen in my life is happening right now. So I'm definitely seeing the signs. One thing I want to touch on that you said earlier, man, you were saying that you get a little bit of both. You know what I mean? You're gonna get the good and the bad. I think from a personal experience, I don't know if if any books or any literature, I think they both make you who you are. You got to go through the dark to learn, and the light is you learning. You know what I mean? You got to bump your head and fall off the bike to learn how to ride the bike. You know what
Facts.
I mean? So every fucking mistake or every bad deed you've done is making your spirit stronger, because you learn from it. You know what not to do, or you know what I mean, it strengthens you. It make your spirit more whole. You know what I mean? Especially if you're able to get through it. You know what I mean? And not let the motherfucker take you down. So they both work in life. Like, if life was just straight arrow, you would never learn shit. You would just be happy, dappy, dappy. You will never get further
Right.
without no, you know what I mean, without no adversity, you know what I mean,
Right.
or some bad things happening to make you better. You know what I mean? Bad things can make you a lot fucking better, man.
Facts.
Period. So you get the yin and the yang. You know what I mean? You got the sun and then you got the moon when it's dark. You know what I mean? So they both gonna come out, they both serve their purpose. You know what I mean? Period. When it's dark, you know what I mean? That moon is out, but that's when the creatures come out. They hunt, you know what I mean? And they killing shit. When the sun is out, that's when everybody come out, the humans come out, everybody come to play and shit, woo, 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 woo. So everything serves its purpose. You know what I mean? Just like how certain eat certain animals, and certain fish eat fish, and certain this that. It's the cycle of what God has made, right? And you said that we got an inklet of God in us. You see it every day with your baby mother and you. What God did with Adam and Eve, you did that with you, your baby mama, and your son or your daughter that you had.
Facts.
You just did what they did in Genesis chapter 1, the first. You just did what they did without taking a rib out your side. You just did that. You created life just like God created life, because you are God.
Facts.
That should let you know that you not the master of the universe, but you got God qualities, so where you could do the same shit God did on earth, because you're doing it
That's right. Every day. You
every fucking day. We don't realize our power. We don't. You create motherfucking life. That's what God did. Are you serious?
that's right.
And you over here like, oh no, oh nigga, no, you.
You.
Yes, you and your queen. Yes, create life and keep
Right.
creating life. That's what God did.
That's right. We often say that God only does three things. That's it. And you're like, three things? God does all these. No, God only does three things: create, save, and destroy. That's it. And that's what you do. You have the power to create, like you said, with your child, sustain or save, which means whatever your condition is, you can sustain that condition. If you got a nice house and a car and you got a good job, just keep working. You can sustain that. Now you quit going to work, or you decide you want to destroy that at any time, you could tear it all down.
Right.
So these are the God qualities that you have. We have the power to create any condition we want. We have the power to sustain that, or we have the power to destroy it. It's very, very simple. However, we don't even recognize that sometimes. We think that our condition is based on somebody else's, and it will be. If you're not thinking, somebody else will think for you,
Right.
but we have the power to control what goes on in here. And as long as you take control of that, then you can dictate the course, the course of your life. So yeah, man, I appreciate that aspect of what you said. And then I just wanted to echo
But
something too, the
can't
Quran
we
without
can't we can't we can't we can't do false prophecies though. Like you could just say or think you're gonna be what you are, you're gonna be it. Nah, you have to put some grind and some hustle into it.
there you go.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't just say, hey, I want to be this. Like I want to be the next motherfucking Bill Gates, and you don't do no
Right.
Bill Gates moves, investments and shit to get there. You
That's
can't
right.
just be dreaming without putting no action into it.
Got to. Words,
Your
action.
action speaks louder than words.
There you go.
Speak those words. Write your 10 things you want to do. Write that down. Have a motherfucking list that you want to do. Your goal list of what you look at every day to really make you meditate and focus. But if you're not trying to do something every day to accomplish that, it's just you just wrote down some shit. You
That's
know what
right.
I mean? So put action into your thoughts.
That's
You know what
right.
I mean? Because you wouldn't be thinking these thoughts, you know what I mean, without trying to elevate yourself. But you got to put action
Right. Right.
into it. You can't just say, I'm going to be this great whoop whoop and don't do shit about it. You just sitting here just dreaming about it,
Facts.
but you ain't doing shit. You know,
Facts.
you
That's
got to
called
put some feet on it, you know?
facts, man. Faith without works is dead. You got to have words, acts, and deeds. It all goes together. It's almost like a BLT, like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. You remove one of those elements, it's not a BLT no more. It's just a lettuce sandwich or a tomato sandwich or whatever. And so it's words, acts, and deeds. First you speak it, then you live it out. You in your daily movement. Because one thing for sure is that whatever you focus on or concentrate on, that's what you're gonna be developing. And so when you keep your mind on something, then you're bringing it from the unseen into the seen. But it has to be intentional. Just like you said, you can't just say I want $1 million and then don't never get off the couch.
It's
What
not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So you have to put intentions. You have to be intentional, and you have to put that acts and deeds behind that thinking. However, I'm one to believe that if you are in the pursuit of happiness, no matter what it is, that if you're doing what you love, it don't matter how hard the task is, you're gonna get the job done. It's what you love. If you love playing basketball, if you Kobe, every report that I ever heard from every other NBA player was I got to the gym, he was already there with a sweat lathered up and had been shooting for 2 hours. Or when I left, he was still there. Now that's hard to be a gym rat like that. You got bunions on your feet, blisters, whatever. But if it's something you love, then it's not gonna be a cruel task. You're gonna do it. You love racing cars. You might have calluses all over your hands and shake every. You listen when you love it. That's why I said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all things else will be added unto you. All you gotta do is do what you love, but you got to put some work in it. If you love playing basketball, every day, dribble the ball, bounce the ball, work on your left hand, work on your right hand, work on your three-pointer, work on dunking. I guarantee you, if you just do that every day, when you get to junior high school, you keep doing it. You may make the team, you may not. Keep doing it. Eventually, you're going to make the team. Eventually, you'll make the team.
Oh,
And
Jordan wasn't the nigga in high school. Jordan, like, he wasn't the boy in
that's
high
right.
school.
That's
It
right.
took
Got
him.
cut from the team, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, but you keep on because you love it, right? You take the basketball and sleep in the bed with the basketball. Take the basketball to school. Take the basketball. You would put it in the shower with you, but your mom told you don't take that basketball in the shower. You're just doing what you love, right? I guarantee you, pretty soon, your intention's not to go to college and all of a sudden college is getting figured out. All you're doing is what you love. All of a sudden the next level is getting figured out. All you're doing is what you love. You got the house, you got the car, you got the girl, but all you did was seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. All that other stuff got figured out. Now you might go, hey Nelson Neal, what happens if I really love basketball, but I break my leg? How am I gonna get the big house? Now am I gonna get the girl? How am I gonna, man, you love basketball, right? All you know is basketball, right? Tell me, do coaches make more money than the players, or do the, you know, because see what happens is now you feel like I got all this knowledge. I didn't go to the NBA. I didn't do this. You told me if I kept my dream. But guess what? You keep working at it, there's going to be some kid somewhere, sometime, accepting an award, holding back tears, going, man, man, if it wasn't for Coach Nelson, I wouldn't be here today, man. He taught me everything he knows. All you gotta do is do what you love. But you
Mhm.
gotta do it though.
Yep.
You can't sit down on it. You got to do
You
it.
to
And
do it.
watch. Everything else is gonna be taken care of. But we don't want to do what we love. We want to go to work. I hate this job. I hate this life. We do everything we hate, but we don't want to do what we love to do. God's given each and every one of us a special gift. If it's making bead bracelets, if it's rapping, if it's running, if it's talking, if it's walking, whatever it is. And you might say, I don't got no talent. Well, guess what? If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So what is it that you was talented at? Maybe
Right.
you'll have some muscle memory. But the thing about it is, we have to understand we control this thing, man. We control it. It's where you put your time and energy, where you focus that time and energy. That's what's real. What you do not give energy to does not exist. Point blank, period. So
Hey, shit. We gonna
with high learning, maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna end it on that, man. We got these motherfuckers a lot tonight, man. No disrespect to the chat and everybody. I said motherfuckers, man. Hey, we grown in this motherfucker, man. Period. Straight
Facts.
up, man. But church, man, we definitely this was real church, I think. You know what I mean? This is when people touching each other, giving that knowledge. You definitely blessed us with a nice sermon tonight, man. From all angles, man. Period. So appreciate your time, man. And we gonna come in same bat. No, not same bat time, same bat channel. Next
We
Thursday,
in
and we definitely gonna be on this motherfucker, man. High learning, man. Yuck Mouth and Nelson L, man, in the motherfucking building, man. Give me your IG and shit where they can follow you, man.
Facts on facts, man. Peace and love. This is Nelson Neal. Just look, we can ready come back on it, man. Under the real Nelson Neal. You know, some of the people that follow me can attest to the fact we got hacked a few months ago. So we just putting it back together. But you can go online, put in Nelson Ill, the introduction to the truth of life, get the book, or go online and plug in Drew Ali, American Prophet by Nelson Ill, and some of the music will pop up. But we around, man. The fortunate thing is we live in an age of technology. Put in Nelson EL. You're gonna see the feds, you're gonna see me, and tap in, support the movement, man. Love you, bro. I appreciate
And
that, man.
salute.
And one
Salute.
time, one of these conversations, we're gonna talk about love too, man. Just what is love? Is it an
Ah,
action
yeah,
word? Is it something? I think we don't really know what love is. You feel me?
right.
So
Next
maybe that
week
would
we'll
be
do
the
that.
conversation. And
Yeah.
then the stigma of love. Just thought about it when I was like, love you, bro. At one point in time, if one man told another man, hey, bro, love you, bro, it was looked at crazy. But
No, no.
that's how messed up our minds was.
Nah, until a nigga get off one of them mollies, nigga, one of them Essie pills. You love everybody. I love you, nigga. Like a motherfucker that you see walking down the
Hey,
street.
but
I
that's
love
tapping
you.
into a piece
I
of the
love you.
brain that we have suppressed. And
Right,
it's a shame that we would have to take something to unlock that part of us, because that's
right.
already, love is already in us. We are love. But we've been so conditioned to hate one another. We gotta take something to unlock that part of our brain, and that's crazy because it should already been unlocked. But we'll get into that sometime. I just want to say peace and love to the family. We're gonna be back on the channel. Just stay tapped in. You gonna catch us though.
Hell yeah, man. Yuck Mouth Nelson L, man. High learning. We out this motherfucker, man. Blessings and honor to everybody, man. Salute. Yada that boy.